life, everybody has a story. The ups, the downs. But most of us are just destined and see the good end product. Well, we take time to go through the history, the stories, the cries, the laughter, the good, the bad times, right here. Well, here is a safe space whereby you open up, speak up, we cry together, we laugh together, and most of all, we find solutions together and encourage people. Today, I'm honored to be hosting a very beautiful girl from Madeira whose wedding was awesome. But years down the line, it broke. The marriage broke. But that did not mean it was the end of life for her. Well, karibu sana as we take a tour through Jackline's life. Mama, you're welcome.
Thank you very much.
Introduce yourself.
My name is Jackie. I'm a mom. I'm a mental health advocate. I am many things. I'm a friend. I'm a sister. Yes.
You're my friend.
Yes.
Be specific.
Yeah.
She's my friend.
Okay.
Karibu sana. So, are you ready to cry, to share?
I don't think I'm that emotional. Yeah.
Umepitia mpaka imefika.
I think I'm numb to anything.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we go straight. Nasikia harusi ilikuwa ya kukata na shoka.
Yeah, it was good.
Rice was eaten well. What happened? Okay, we start from when did you meet this man?
I met this man in 2006, 2007. Yeah. That's when we met.
You had just finished campus or?
Yeah.
Wow. So you've met, that is roughly 21.
I was 21 years of age.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now you've dated the Russians, the courtship. How was the courtship?
The courtship was okay. I remember I was living in a hostel in Gara, and he was living in an apartment in Gara. So the courting was okay. He would visit me in the hostels. I would visit him in his house.
Which campus were you in?
By the time I met him, at that time I was in college. I was in air travel and related studies. So it was easy. Actually, the hostel was next to his apartment. So he would come in, visit me in the hostels, and take me out. And I meet his friends. He meets my friends. Yeah, basically that's how we started courting.
So now you've dated, you finished campus. Ama utangoja umalize?
I finished. And during the attachment is when we started staying together. Come we stay.
Come we stay. Come we try things.
Come we try things. But still, I was going back to the hostel because the hostel has already been paid by my parents. So, ilikuwa ile on off. I need some time off. I spend in the house for 2 weeks. Then back to the hostels, And it was just next door. So it no big deal. And so some months down the line, I got pregnant.
Wow. So you've not even done the wedding yet?
No. I got pregnant.
So after the pregnancy, will the relationship be held when you're pregnant?
Yeah.
Or,
Yeah, it was held when I was pregnant. Everything was done when I was pregnant.
So during your wedding, you're already pregnant?
Yeah.
How many months?
Let's say 3-4 months.
Did you get married because you were pregnant?
Basically, I think I got married because I did not want to. Okay, I loved him, and still I wanted to be like a mother, a full family. My kid must have a dad and a mom.
Tell me about your big day.
It was awesome.
How did it feel? How were the preparations?
There was up and downs, and the fact that Kadikuna was joining us.
The Kadikuna.
Yeah, so it was a wonderful moment. It was a good experience. It's when your friends are there for you, your mates are there for you. Yeah, it was just wonderful.
As a girl growing up, did you ever figure out how your wedding will be?
Yeah. Yeah, every girl dream is like, how will my wedding be?
A white dress.
A white dress, flowers, good music, dad and mom looking good. Yeah.
Honeymoon.
Basically as a girl, you don't think about honeymoon. Honeymoon can go after you grow up. Yeah.
So where did you go for your honeymoon?
I did not go for honeymoon. We're in the house.
Oh, mlimaliza wedding mkaenda kwa nyumba?
Yeah.
Why?
I'm pregnant.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you don't even want too much.
I'm pregnant. I don't want much.
So now, how was the months to kid coming in? Now you are full time. Hakuna mahali unaenda.
Now I'm there. I'm his wife. We're in the house. I have no job, so I'm basically a housewife. And it was nice. He was taking care of me. I had this pregnant mama. I was tiny. And he was working then. He was working with Safaricom. And yeah, it was all good. All good. He had time for me. I would go out. His parents would come. His mom, basically his sister. It was just a family thing. Cousins will have sleepovers in my house. So it was awesome.
Where did the rain start beating you up?
I think when now the child came. And you know, he changed. I changed maybe. Yeah, that's when the rain started.
You know, I understand most men complain that whenever we get kids, we tend to forget about them and concentrate too much on the kids.
I don't think I forgot about him because I did everything for him. Basically, I think I did everything for him. I'm not saying I'm perfect, but I think I did everything that I could at that time. Yeah. His meal was always on the table. His outfit for the work were always available clean. The house was always spotless, clean and neat. He had peace of mind when he came home. Yeah.
Now, the second baby comes in.
The second baby comes in 2010. Yeah.
How is the marriage so far?
By that time, the marriage was violent, both physically, emotionally, and psychologically. And it was tough.
When was the first time he hit you?
Before he got married.
Okay, tell me about it.
We had a confrontation with my neighbor, and I kind of wanted I told him about it, and he was so upset about it, and he wanted to go and confront the neighbor. So I stood in front of him at the door so that he doesn't go out and confront the neighbor. And he hit me. He just told me, move or I'll hit you. And I did not move because I didn't believe he would hit me. But he did hit me.
That was the first time?
Yeah.
First of many or first and last?
First now of many.
Okay.
Yeah.
Speak up.
First of many. Then we got a child, my firstborn child. He used to drink a lot. So he would come home, just a small thing, he gets angry and we start confronting each other. And yeah, I was small, so I'll be beaten. And thrown out actually, and then told to get out.
How old is your kid at this time?
Maybe days and months.
You've been thrown out at night?
Yeah. I've actually slept under a car in Gara somewhere.
Okay.
Till morning.
Because of?
I can't remember, but I know I was beaten and I was told to get out. And I remember he came out to look for me. He was calling my name because he didn't know where I had left. But I went to the car park and there was a car there and I just slept there. I just wanted peace of mind. He was drunk. And you know, when you have a baby, you hardly get time for yourself.
True.
Even time to relax, unwind. So you're thinking when my husband comes home, or the man that I love comes home, maybe you'll relax with the kid and then I get time for myself. I don't think I ever had that.
So now here he is, umechapwa, you've left. Have you left with the kid?
No, I can't take my child out there in the cold.
So who is with the kid?
He is with the kid.
Did you have a house girl?
No, why do I have a house girl? I'm a housewife.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the whole night?
Yeah, the whole night until 5.
Yeah.
Then
you go knocking.
No, I remember I went back to the hostel around 5. So I told you the hostel where I used to live is just next there.
So after you got married?
We went back to the same apartment.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now you've gone back to the hostel?
Yeah, I just talked to the matron and she told me just sleep here and then morning utarudi kwako.
That is around 5?
Yeah.
After sleeping under the car?
Yeah, it was so cold in the morning. It got cold and I was like, where?
No, unanyonyesha?
My friend, my breast had so much pain. Yeah.
CS normal?
I had normal birth.
I'm like you. So, here unanyonyesha, uko chini ya Nini, how will the morning, now when you go back home, how was it?
When I went back home, we had already left for work, and my child was asleep.
How old was the baby?
I remember it was like, I think 3 weeks.
3 weeks old.
Yeah, and I remember the mom came after that.
Mm-hmm.
We had a talk. And she told us we were too young to start fighting and so many things.
Mm-hmm.
By that time, I remember I had made up my mind to go back home. But the mom talked to us and she said that we need to act or grow up and sort our things out. Yeah.
How old was the guy?
That time he was 32, he was 32 and I was, I think, 20 something, because he's 5 years older than me.
Ah, nice. At least mine was 14 years older than me.
I was 5 years.
So, now let me get this. After mom comes in,
Yeah.
I think now everything is settled. All
Yeah, everything was settled like for a month or two. And remember, it followed with my son's birthday. And my first son's birthday, his first year, his 1 year, I still slept out. I remember that day I was so tired because of the cooking. People were coming, I cooked. And now I told you, cousins and friends were coming for a sleepover. And they would drink a lot. So they came for a sleepover. I don't know what got him angry. I walked out, and when I came back, he had locked the door. Together with now his friends that were inside the house.
Okay.
Yeah.
Would these friends open the door for you?
I don't think they realized I was out. They were drunk.
Maybe he also didn't realize you were outside.
So basically, I went to a neighbor. His name is Momo. I went to his house, and I knew him before I knew Patrick. We used to go to college together. So I went to his house and slept till morning.
And then, after you come back home,
He did ask me, and I told him, you locked me out.
his reaction, will he say sorry? Will
He
he
just
be
said sorry, and the
apologetic?
life went on. Sorry, I did not notice. Told him, you locked me out. I think you blacked out or something.
But now everything goes on well, Ama.
No, you see, there was instances you feel you're not being treated right. I remember there's a time I suspected he had an affair, and he brought that lady in the house. Oh yeah, she was light skinned, and they started talking, and I was just sitting there, but I know. Yeah, and they left.
So was he bringing her as a friend or?
Yeah, he brought her as a friend they used to live in Umoja, from Umoja, so there's a friend from Umoja. But from how he talks about her, how she was behaving, you could see there's more than friendship. But I still ignored. Just like...
In your marital house?
Yeah. I told you I was very silent. You know, people see this bold Jackie, but in my marriage I was not bold. I just allow things happen.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, the whole drama, you still in Nairobi?
Yeah, I was still in Nairobi.
You still jobless?
I was still jobless. That was with my firstborn son. And then during that period, I got a job. Mombasa Road, Auto Selection Kenya Limited, used to sell cars. And I got a job there. And I remember we moved from Gara to Mombasa Road. In fact, forgotten that place, the name of that estate. We stayed there, and he got a job now in Nyeri, this Nyeri. So he was at Kenya Methodist in Nyeri. And so Snona here kwa Nyeri, me I'm in Nairobi. And basically the mom was taking care of us. When if he was taking care of us, the mom was taking care of us, and I felt like the mom was controlling everything. But after all, si uliambo mwanamke ni kuvumilia.
Of course, marriage, lazima uvumilie.
Yeah.
It's still death do us part.
Yeah.
Now, you feeling like the mother is taking too much, but isn't that the law in the mother-in-law?
Yeah, that's the mother-in-law. But you see, basically, that time I was also, reacting out. That time I had not been diagnosed with a mental condition, so I have my own issues. And before I understand what is happening to me, because that time I did not even know who I was, you're so belittled and your self-esteem is so down, you don't even know who you are. And so it was very tough for me.
Now, let me guess this. He's in Nairobi, he's in Nyeri, you're in Nairobi.
Yeah.
How will you come to stay in Nyeri? Ama you'll still...
I stopped working now in auto selection in Limited. The contract ended, so I had to come back to Nyeri. So we moved to Nyeri, here in Nyeri. And when we moved to Nyeri, I remember we had a very bad fight. And I went back home. I just decided.
2 months now?
Yeah. I went to my mom and dad, and I stayed there for a week. Instead of waiting for him to come for me, we started texting each other. And so I took myself back.
You were in love?
I was thinking about my kids. Like, I was in love, but it was more about my son. They have that bond. So I went back. Yeah.
And why was the fight there?
Why was the fight then? Oh, I had not been diagnosed with a mental condition, right? And so I wasn't having a problem with managing finances. And so one day he found out that I was not managing the finances very well. Now I believe if he did love me, we would have a talk about it. But he did not. He just started beating me up.
How much had you misused?
I don't think it was more than 200 shillings.
200?
Yeah, it was something with credit. Yeah, I was to buy credit or something.
So that was the reason why the fight came up?
Yeah.
Na sasa ukaenda nyumbani?
Yeah.
What will you explain to your parents? Why are you home?
I'm done being beaten. And the bruises were there. Unajua umaipigo unadhani uko mwizi.
Oh, where?
Yeah, you're beaten until you're like, wow.
And so what will be the reaction of your parents?
My dad wanted now the issue to be sorted. You know, there was days to come and so many things. But then he would text me.
Pepe, rudi nyumbani.
And
ukaamua kurudi?
Hapa alinikujia.
Alikukujia?
Yeah. And my dad was in, but my mom wasn't. And actually it was a surprise. My dad was like, "What? You've come?" And since you've come for her and she wants to go.
Okay, go.
Unaweza enda na mwishi na amani. Sitaki maneno tena. Yeah.
Kwa hivyo after hiyo sasa si ata behave, hakuna fights tena.
Yeah, and I had stayed home for a while. And so that was the first time. That time I remember we were living in Thika Del Monte. And so the second time, now tumekuja Nyeri, tunakaa Nyeri, we also had another fight. Among many. Now I'm trying to figure out the big ones. We also had another fight. And that time we had a fight. I remember my academic documents, the Wali feature.
Okay.
And there was some issues, big major issues. And I remember when I went home to his mom in Umoja to have those issues sorted out, they threw me out.
The mother-in-law, the parents-in-law.
Yeah, they threw me out. There were the mother-in-law, a cousin, a sister. There's a group of the in-laws. And I remember I had to sleep in a church in Umoja. Because sijui mtu Umoja. So I went and slept in a church in Umoja. And I woke up and I went home. And
are you having a kid through all this?
No, they had the child.
Okay.
You know, we had a fight. So I left. Actually, I left and went to the in-laws. The cousin. Nikaenda kwa cousin, kwa bibi ya cousin yake, wazazi wake. Because I felt that's why now people will understand me. Okay, yeah. So that's why I went. They used to live in Ridgeways. So that's why I went. I told them, I think I'm done. I told them they called the cousin. So the cousin took me and took me back to the mother-in-law. Or to my mother-in-law then. And instead of them finding out what is the issue, they started attacking me. Oh, you went overboard. You're not supposed to go there. Blah, 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 blah. It was just a lot of things going on. And I remember in my head, I was not even listening to them. I was numb because I was feeling a lot of pain. And I just walked out. Yeah. Hata wajui nilienda wapi. I walked out and nililala huko kwa church. And in the morning my parents called me. My mom called me and told me where I was. Sababu sasa walipigia wazazi wangu, telling them all bad things about me. And so my mom was worried. And she called me and I told her where I was. She told me come home. I went home. I explained to her. So now they're left with my son. And that is the time we separated for over 3 months. Because now si walichukua mtoto na mimi nimeenda.
Umeenda kwenu?
Nimeenda kwetu.
Kila mtu arudi kwa babake.
Kila mtu arudi kwao, wewe baki na mtoto wako na mama yako akae na mtoto wako. But at some time I decided to go for my son, and I went for my son. And I picked for my son, and I went to live with my parents in Thika. While there, I realized I was pregnant with a second born now. So I'm living with my mom and my dad and my firstborn, and then I realized I'm pregnant.
Okay.
And I remember we told him, and he said, "Mtoto wangu, you cheat on me. I don't trust you. You have issues." I was like, "Fine.
Ntalea.
I'm home. Don't forget I'm jobless." And I stayed home. But then nilikaa.
How is your parents' reaction all through?
My dad was very upset. My mom was very upset. But now what do? I'm here home. And with their grandchild. And their teachers. So walikuwa naenda jobs. Raniacha. I take care of the house. Yeah.
Wanarudi jioni wanakupata?
Yeah, I've cooked for them. My kid is okay. And I remember, actually it was more than 3 months because I also gave birth at home. Yeah, I gave birth at home.
All through, hajaanza kuapologize, rudi nyumbani.
He would come, see his firstborn son, together come with the sister, see his firstborn son, talk with his son, bring him bicycles, gifts and so many things. And me, I was like, you know, staki maneno mingi. I don't want a lot of issues. Yeah, my friends tell me, you know, guys now see this person who knows what she wants. They see this person as bold. But that time I was not bold. Yeah, I feared him with all my being. I still do fear him with everything that I've got. And so, angeingia ningetoka. See that feeling you get mwalimu wa mathematics akiingia class.
So for you it was not even respect, it was fear.
Yeah, I feared him a lot. And so I gave birth to my child. And during that process now, nimekaa away from him for a long time. But then still in Nyeri, I'm with my parents. We got back together now.
How?
You see, we are chatting. How is my son doing? Nini, send me photos of now my second born Wesley. I sent. Really phone ziko. Chat. And I remember I came home and talked to my dad, and we came to Nyeri.
Like a soft spot was touched.
Yeah, we came to Nyeri. I know I'm thinking I'm jobless. It was not more about love. It's more about I need security. I'm jobless. I don't want to depend on my parents for everything. This is the dad. I had a house that was taken care of. My own house without rules and, you know.
Your freedom and everything.
Yeah, and I want my kids to see it a certain way. And I felt that it's easier for me to do that in my own territory, a house that me and him were living in. Yeah, so we came and we lived in Kangemi. I found a house near alikuwa amehama, by the way, because before we were living in Classic. We were living here in Classic, and nikapata ametoka hiyo ya Classic because Classic was 1 bedroom. So we had to go to Kangemi, a 2-bedroom house. And so basically we lived in Kangemi.
Okay.
Kangemi for a period of time.
So how is marriage life now that you've gotten back together? Has it changed? Is everything
No,
working?
when I came back, neighbors were treating me weird. I remember the first week when now I came. I mean, I'm a clean freak. I'm so particular with cleanliness. So I cleaned that house, the windows and everything, the pillowcases, kila kitu clean. And I remember people saying, "Oh, rather my neighbor then, she works in a market here. She told me, hey, you're too young to be his wife." And the way this house in Ajanga was chana. But me, I'm like,
That's your bygones.
At the time, I'm the one in this house. So there are so many things I was being told. But, you know, I've grown in a way or the way Kadhikuna had taught me was that party has got nothing to do with the marriage. It's just you and your husband. So don't listen to what people are saying. So I had blocked what people are saying. I remember when we got back together, we were not intimate. So how to explain it to you? See that fear? We were not intimate. To a point now, you're not intimate, so he forces himself on you. And you can't say no, because utaenda kuambia watu nini, my husband.
Let me get this. You've not been with him for so long.
Yeah.
Don't you miss him? Ama ulikuwa na kamtu kengine na hapo kando?
Let me tell you, when you get a child, your attention is that child. I think that's where I was. Or either I was numb. Yes, I missed him, but I feared him. I don't know whether it is making sense. I feared him a lot. And then you're like, Merudiana, but you're not in the same bedroom.
Okay.
So I told him I'd be sleeping with my
kids.
No, with my second born. He'll be sleeping with the first one, Wilson. So I was sleeping with Wesley, who was very tiny. By the way.
Okay.
Yeah. Because I remember his first year birthday, we did it there at Kangemi. And so we were not intimate. And he would come home at 2 a.m. in the morning and leave at 7 to go to work. So what time do we even have to wake up and start being submissive? I don't. I'm tired. These are 2 kids. But then I'm 3 years only. And so I'm busy cleaning, busy doing what? I watch movie, I sleep. Yeah, that was basically my life.
And
like a house girl. But my kids are mine.
Now, when he wants you, what happens?
Maybe by force. And it was big, and maybe by force, and you're like, okay.
There's no romance.
Maybe no. Maybe it's by force, and you're like, maybe it's supposed to be that way. Maybe I was born to suffer. Maybe I don't know, or I deserve it. Yeah.
So your mind kept on telling you this is the life.
My mind had actually shown me it's my fault. You went and stayed. You know, my mind was telling me it's my fault. There's a reason he's not coming back home. It's a fault. There's a reason shouting at you. It's a fault.
Where did you get to be now? Like, now I need to leave. What happened?
We stayed for a while in Kangemi.
Are there fights then, Ama?
Yeah, I remember there's a time he did beat me up. Vizuri shaipigwa. Yeah. Even those people of wrestling should get lessons. Because
what happened?
I was really beaten. There's a guy who had come. My friend, I've told you, had a neighbor who had a sister. And the sister had a friend who would sell things. This is a kuzorurisha necklace nini for ladies. And that time, during the day he came. And when he came, he shared with us. Like, shukunizi, mkiuza, you mweke pesa. Because the sister was not also working. And I was not working. And we were just there. And so, at around 4, he had to leave. My friend was calling so we decided kumzindikisha. So it's like from here to the gate. Now, between here to the gate, to kumzindikisha, Mimi Mso and him, we met.
Now with the husband?
Yes. Him and his friends, we met. He pretended he didn't even see us. Hata hakutusalimia. So we are like, okay, si tutapatana kwa nyumba. Ama tu kwa plot, because even so and him, they do talk. So the gentleman akapanda, alikuwa na kimfuko kinabeba vitu, akapanda gari na akaenda. So when I got into the house and the kids nimewatayarisha and everything, he asked me, who was that guy? I told him, no, ni friend ya Muthui, nini, and I may bring some jewelry, I'm going to sell and make money. My friend. Oh, your work is bringing money in my house. And then I got angry. That was the first time I think I ever responded to him. And I told him, unlike you, I don't sleep around. I'm busy raising my kids. And I'm there to make little money because you can't even feed your second born, because he believed his second born is not his son. So I'm trying to...
Was he his son, for the record?
Yeah. Yeah. And now they are very good friends, actually. And nilipigwa and I was dragged out. And for me not to run, aliniekelea mawe ingine ya kujenga. People call it mawe ya 9. There was a construction there. And I had to be helped by a neighbor, now the husband.
Hold on. Unaeka mawe wapi?
Si kwa miguu. And I was pregnant, so I was expecting a third born child. I was very pregnant. And
how many months?
I think around 5 or 6 months.
Okay.
And akanikelea mawe. And he was beating me up.
Ukiwa nje ama ukiwa ndani?
Si nje, sasa si umedragiwa nje. No, I remember the one who ran out. And then he held me. And akaniangusha chini kwa corner, there's a corner. And then palikuwa na tanki ya maji, na hizo mawe hapo. Akachukua mawe akanikelea, so I can't run. So when I did scream, the neighbor, Baba, she cooked him. And they helped me. And I was taken to hospital. But they was taken to Outspan Hospital. I still remember the lady who I worked, who was dealing with my case. Clearly she could see it's
domestic
violence. But when my parents came and everybody came, I said, I just fell. And
you fell where?
Si huko kwa nyumba. As far as I'm concerned.
As far as you're concerned,
I want to protect my husband.
Okay.
You've been taught to protect your husband no matter what. So I wanted to protect my marriage and protect my husband. We'll solve this.
Tukirudi kwa nyumba.
Yeah, we'll solve this. And so after nimetoka Hosi, I was...
And how is your pregnancy by now?
The pregnancy ilipotelea hapo. I got a miscarriage at that time.
Okay.
And I remember we were called, and it was a tiny girl. I even gave her name Shelmith, and it was a tiny girl in a box ya biscuit. Yeah, she was put there, and I was told now they have to dispose the body, but they have given me an option. I can go with her home and bury her. But I said, you can bury her. And he was not there.
Where was he?
At work.
Okay.
He was not there. And so they disposed the body, and my mother came. My aunt, I have an aunt here in Nyeri. They came, we talked. They asked me, unataka kwenda wapi? I told them kurudi kwa in-laws ama kwa kwangu. Kaniambia huwezi rudi kwako, you need someone to take care of you because right now you're weak. Someone take care of you, so that, and the kids at the same time. So I decided, and takana in-laws. And so, yeah, it was good.
Naturally, I find when you go to Outspan, you're given a counselor.
Yeah.
How could I tell a counselor?
No, I was okay as far as I was concerned.
Wewe uko sawa?
Mimi niko sawa.
Na ulianguka kwa stairs ama ulianguka wapi?
Nilianguka tu huko kwa nyumba.
Kwa nyumba?
Yeah.
Mpaka miguu ikaumia? To an extent of losing a pregnancy?
Yeah, I had a black eye. Wejua tungo unikana nimepigwa. Yeah.
But in your mind, where ulianguka?
Yes. And actually, the reason I said that is because previously, nimaipigwa. Tuketu hapa Classic. Nikapigwa, if people from their Classic, there's a market, can remember, nilipigwa, kwa na black eye, mkono nilikuwa nimefunga, lakini si kuvunjika, ile unatwistiwa, unasikia yenyewe. And I went to the police. Aki akapa Nyeri. And I reported the case. I don't know, one or two, three things led to the other because the uncle was someone important. Ikisika.
Ikadismissiwa.
Ikaisha, I don't even, it was never followed up or anything. And then I could not go anywhere. Nimesema kesi lakini narudi tu kwake. So I was helpless. I think I felt, is it helpless? Yeah. So what's the point? What's the point of saying ninapigwa and atapelekwa mahali? Yeah. And I had this at the back of my head. I can't tell my parents. I just can't. This is not right.
But why not open up to your mom at least?
I felt I needed to protect
the image of your husband.
Yeah, in my marriage. And you see, marriage kubwa, so to people out there who smiling and marriage iko sawa.
Well, okay, now that you've talked about being marriage ilifunganishwa na kadhikuna kubwa sana, how was your reaction when you're outside here as a family?
When you go for family gathering, I'm this happy person. When you go out with cousins and I'm good.
How is he treating you out there?
Very nice. In front of people. He's a very nice person. But then he's very silent.
Okay.
Very, very quiet. So even if you say I'm in piga, people are like,
Nani?
I know.
When do you hata unaonekana unaongea zaidi?
Yes. Because I'm outgoing, so people are like, I remember that there's a time when mom told me, you've turned my son to be violent. My son is not a violent person. You're the one who's making him violent. So I was feeling, sasa ninaambia nani what is happening. And he took advantage of that.
Umechapo umeenda police station, umechapo umeenda hosi, sasa umerudi kwa in-laws, umetekiwa care, then later you go back to your husband.
Yeah.
When does it get to be now, enough is enough?
I went back to my husband and I stayed. Still the violence was there. Actually the violence graduated from violence to him not being there. So he'd leave the house Thursday, I'll do the next Thursday. You ask him where you're going, you know, he asks you, unaniuliza kama nani? Then you tell him, I'm not asking you for me, I'm asking you just in case someone calls me and asks me, uko wapi? Then he tells him, wakona namba yangu watanipigia. You're like, okay.
Okay.
Yeah, so I remember at times we would go hungry, despite him having the power and the resources. And I reached out to one of his friends. Actually, that friend, I told him I need 200 shillings only. I need to buy milk for my son. Mdogo was relying on me to feed. So I need to buy milk for my son. Or maybe something I can cook akule. And he told me, I think, they were very good friends. That was sleepover. He told me, I think this is the time to set yourself free. I'll find you a job. And he asked me, what kind of job do you want? I told him, job yenye tu ukipata kazi yote.
Hata kufagia hujakata.
Yeah. And he told me, there's a university that has come up in Karatina, and I'm going to see how you can get a job. And he told me, wame advertise makazi, just apply and bring all your academic documents, nani. And that's what I did. And God came through for me and I got that job. But hata kupata hiyo job ni chini ya maji, because I remember the money for the salon my brother sent me, the outfit for the interview my dad bought me, the fare to go to work my brother sent it to me. And I had to, that time nikaacha watoto na huyo mama Shiku. But then she not even go to the market that day. She sells things at the market. She told me, Nico, I shall stay with these kids. Just go for that interview. And I went with faith, with a lot of faith. At that time, that university had not grown. So I don't know that you need a bush. So I went, I finished the interview. I think I was number 7 in the interview. And I was panicking because Nico had to 5. And I returned back home. Then
hell will break loose.
So I went for the interview. I came back. And I remember on my way back is when I was told I have qualified, I have succeeded. And so I had to find a way of telling him. Nilienda interview na nimepata job. And I told him, and he was so happy by the way that I was treated like a queen.
Wow.
And I thought everything maybe is okay. I think this guy was just overburdened. So I'm
ameritupiwa some.
Yeah. And so I remember we moved from, it was around Christmas, so we came for Christmas in Karatina. The shoshu is from around Mwanda, so we came for Christmas, and then we decided to move, stayed huko Mutingi every day from
Nyeri to Karatina.
And actually that he was also very possessive and very, a bit overprotective. But then ungeniangalia, people who are in Ngara market will tell you, not even look at me or say hi to me.
Why?
Unamwangalia kwa nini? Unamsalimia kwa nini? And he's aggressive. And
But you are beauty. Isn't that what every girl wants to feel? Like,
Maybe.
my man.
Maybe, but I could not even talk to a guy. I remember the time we went for swimming. I'm a very good swimmer. I love swimming. And we were swimming. So swimming was control who comes in the water
and who doesn't.
And who doesn't. So I remember we were in YMCA together with the cousins, and I don't care because he's there. I can't cheat on you when you're watching. And so some guys got into the water and they were swimming. So they were swimming just close to me. I don't know them. Me, I'm very social. You say hi to me, I'll say hi back to you. Hi. And he got so angry. I had to get out of that pool. And we had to go home.
Because?
Yeah, he's possessive.
Okay.
And we went home and it's like, I don't want guys looking at you. I don't want you talking to guys. And you're like, do I know what to match or something? But you know, you don't want to give him a feedback. You're just keeping quiet and thinking. And then at that time you feel, it's like that possessiveness is love. You're like, wow.
He loves me.
Yeah.
He's being protective.
Yes. So, now here nimeandikwa job. I stay late, he has an issue. I'm dropped by the university van, he has an issue. I'm escorted by a colleague to the house. You see van inasimama kama wapi pale kwa gate during the night. You know Kangemi. So he has to make my colleague, and he was a male, has to walk me from there, from the school university van to the house gate. Yeah. And I have to tell him nimefika kwa gate ndio anifungulie. Funny enough, that time we had a house girl. Instead of sending the house girl to open, he would come to open. That he sees.
Nani amekuleta?
Yeah. If at a driver akinileta kuja kwa gate, it was still an issue. And I will either be beaten, unashautiwa, and sometimes instead of shouting, how do I put it? You know the way he feels like I was another man. So he will take me by force just to prove he's a man. And so ilifika mahali nikaona sitakufa jamani. So
let me guess this. So there is also rape in marriage.
Yeah, it happens. You have to keep quiet about it, because how do you tell me husband raped me?
How? Why?
How do you even start saying? It was, yeah. I think that was basically 50% of my life. Fast forward, umeenda Karatina sasa. Umeenda Karatina, tumekaa. He's still possessive. He has decided my payslip is what will sustain everything. So kuna kazi na inakulipa. I want you to pay the house rent, pay the house girl, buy food. Yeah, and I would do that.
Parent?
Yeah.
I thought African men don't allow you to pay the rent.
It depends. And we stayed like that for, I remember, 2011, 2012. And he was so violent. Now, my mom, who is a teacher, would receive information now from teachers, Karatina, when you wanamjua, together with my dad. We told, your daughter will die. At this rate, your daughter will die because ulikuwa unapigwa na kila kitu, chakula, maji, in front of your house girl. It was bad. I remember the time he beat me up, nilienda kulala kwa my boss, who was a lady who now works at the court. Yeah, I went to sleep at her house. I don't know, I'll die. Sleep in a house.
Now, and once your parents hear all these stories, how
they call me, ambia mambo ni poa.
Uko salama?
Mimi niko sawa. Hata watoto ndio wanakula, tulale. Pato has gone out, but he's coming back in the next 30 minutes.
You know he's not coming.
I know he's not coming, but I don't want to worry my parents. And I want I am convincing myself that everything will be okay. Yeah. See, God knew him too. This man will change.
Of course.
Yeah.
So when do you get to be, sasa mimi, nimemalizana?
Have you ever had a meeting, you yourself and yourself?
The three, me, myself and I.
Yeah. Now you're like, I have gotten a job. I thought everything will be okay. And everything is not okay. And you've reached a point where a point is telling you, I will kill you and take you back home as a corpse. he's holding knives at you. Kuna siku alikuwa amenishikia compass. You see like QTR set? The compass. I was like, hey, this guy will kill me. And so I called my parents. I told them, come over my house for dinner and lunch. My dad said, I can't come to your house for dinner, but I'll come for lunch.
African men.
And I told him, fine. And I came with my mom. It was on a Saturday. They came with my mom. And I had told my husband then that my parents are coming. Naturally, I wanted him to be there. But surprisingly, he said that day, Kenya Methodist University, Nyeri campus, is working. And I'm like, okay. But at the back of my head, I knew he was lying. Because a neighbor, who is now my current colleague, was around. So unless your department was working, but two of them, they were around. So I knew he was lying. And my parents came and they wakakula and we did talk. So my dad and my mom asked me, how is life? How is work, your new job, and so many things. So that is the time I opened up to my parents about my 7 years in marriage. And I remember I told my dad the last time I was happy, genuinely happy, was between 2007 and 2008. From there, I can only count the many times I've been happy. And I told them so many things. Very many things.
How is the reaction? Because na imagine sasa you are pouring out hata kupigwa nini.
My mom was breathing fire. She was standing up and sitting down. And I remember kuna that alikuwa anasema just repeat in Kikuyu. Repeat. And I repeat. My dad was silent. Very silent. And after I finished telling them everything, and they were getting with confirmation from my house girl then, my dad left. Aki alitoka tu akaenda.
Hata atakwambia anything?
No, he just left. So me, I thought my dad had taken a walk. We have relatives in Karatina, so maybe ameenda kuwasalimia just to find a solution for this issue. Because in my head, me, I just wanted a solution. And kumbe my dad went to the chief. Aki alitafuta chief Saturday.
Area chief?
Yes.
But Saturday is not a working day. Atamtoa wapi?
Let it go in record. There's a chief in Karatina called Muthui. He was available on Saturday. He just, my dad got his number. Just know Chief Muthui got available on a Saturday. And told my dad he can't open the office, but he will deal with the case. And my dad akaona chief, sasa si amewambia chief. So let me move the next step. So my dad went to the police station and reported that his daughter is in danger. He's leaving the man who's been beating her up and threatened to kill her.
Yote wewe haujaambiwa kitu?
No, sisi tuko home na madhe sasa tunaosha vyombo. My mom is still asking me questions. We are looking at my kids, Wilson and Wesley. And my dad came back and told my mom, we are not going back to Karatina. We are sleeping in Karatina. And because I can't sleep here, I'll sleep at Starbucks. I remember he made a call to Mr. Kambao. And akaenda akalala Starbucks. So me, I was left with my mom and the house. They say in Kikuyu, God is not a boy. Aki is not a boy.
All this time, your husband?
Hajarudi.
Okay.
Hajarudi. 9 p.m. Hajarudi. 10 p.m. he's not yet back. 11 p.m. is when we hear him. I've told you he used to drink a lot. So you will know he's coming either from the gate, ama kwa stairs, or he's insulting people, just shouting. And kapanda stairs on that floor. And he akagonga mlango. You see me, I would know when he's coming because my stomach ilikuwa inajaa baridi. I would actually goosebumps. Like, wow, he's back. I was more at peace when he was away. Because when he was in the house, there was a lot of tension. So I wanted him away. But when he came, I was like, where? So akafungua mlango with a lot of force, and he asked me, have they finished the food? Those hungry people had come, had they finished the food? But I didn't know my mom was in the bedroom. My son's bedroom together with the house girl. And like a good wife, akaenda akachange. Na akirudi nilikuwa nimemwekea food yake. Because he would not allow anyone else to serve him. So I went and made him his food and served. Hata sikuwa nimekaa chini because nilikuwa namkaisha akule. He just took that plate.
Pulo, ebu ngoja. Atafika saa 7 usiku.
Yeah.
Na uketi na yeye akule.
Atafika saa 7 usiku. I'll serve him food. If he's hungry, because one of the time he was hungry. And I serve him food. I stay there with him. He eats. And then we go to sleep. Yeah. And I wash the plate. Today I'm specific with cleanliness, so I wash the plate and everything. Yeah. Then you go to sleep.
Okay. So what is
instead of eating, akanirushia hiyo sahani na ilikuwa na food. I remember I had made pilau, salad, and chicken stew.
Wow.
So silikuwa kwa plate ya white, kubwa hivi flat. Hiyo sahani ile pita hapa. And all I remember was hot soup. Imenimwagikia. Unajua ilikuwa na soup. So iligonga ukuta.
The real Kikuyu in you has to have gadufu.
Yes. Iligonga ukuta, and I was like, what? And I looked at him and he was really standing up. So I'm like,
what is it?
Ni food mbaya, what is it? I never got to know what was the issue. I'll ask him in future. Because my mom alitoka huko kama Bruce Lee huko.
If you're seeing this, please tell us what was the issue.
My mom alitoka huko bedroom and asked him and called him by his name. And so he was in shock. Sasa amepatwa akipiga mtoto wenyewe na mama yake sasa. So he was in shock. And then my mom is dramatic. My mom akapiga simu, akapiga nduru, akaambia my dad anapigwa. Sasa hata sisi mimi napigwa, tunapigwa. So my dad akapigia polisi akasema he's back.
Mind you, he had reported mchana.
Yes.
Okay.
My dad alipiga polisi akasema that man I had reported is back. And he's beating my wife and my daughter in the house.
Wow.
So the police came. They got into the house. There was an issue with opening the door because he felt this is house and so many things. Police ni wale watu, they don't care, so they knocked the door down. Aki aligonga kofi nikasikia uchungu.
Still love him.
Yeah, I felt so bad. And he was taken away. For all those years that he was beating me and mistreating me, his people never came, despite me calling them, for a solution. But that day, saa 9, they came. All the way from Nairobi. They came and they knocked the door. And I opened. And they said, he has called them, that he's been arrested, and they need me to go and
release him.
Atoke. And Aki to love. So me, I said, okay.
Yeah, you're in love.
And my mom had no control over that. And so I left my mom in the
saa
house.
9 usiku.
Yes. So my mom was also in the house. And my dad alirudi kwa. My dad did not go to Starbucks. My dad traveled back to Thika.
After now he has been arrested?
Yes.
Okay.
So tukaka, my mom wanted to travel the following day because she just wanted to be there. And so my mom said, "Mabaki na watoto." And she cannot control what me to do or nini, and she didn't want to confront those people. So we went to the police, and I remember the lady who was dealing with the case was called Jackline, just like me, Jackline Obotho, and she opened the file, the OB number and everything that had been reported, and then she said there's a problem. I'd very much want to release this man, but this is not the person who reported the case. The person who reported the case is now my dad, and he's the only person who can withdraw the case. And so his dad is in Thika already. So he stayed there Sunday and Monday supposed to go back to work. And so it became now the parents, his people are now worried. Chatafutwa kazi. And my dad came on Tuesday. Yeah, came on Tuesday. And we had been, now the chiefs here, Najua his story. And now my dad, my mom, his people, that is his late uncle, and his mom, they were all there. Okay, what is funny is, us who are married were the ones talking. Now his mama had a lot to say about me, and my mom had a lot to say about him. And they said a lot of things. And I remember I was asked, Jackline, I was asked by the chief, what do you want? Wewe, what do you want? And I said, I just want to live by myself. He lives by himself, and I live by myself. And I was asked, what about the kid? I said, I'll stay with my kids. I will provide for my kids. But I just want to stay by myself for now. And remember, he cried.
Why is he crying?
I think it got him by surprise. Because he even stood and went, and his mom had parked outside there. He went and sat there. And I was asked again, actually by the mom, to confirm Kenyatta amesikia. And I told him I want to, nataka kuchikaisha. Just stay by myself. And maybe. And she gave me 6 months. Kukula shida. Yeah.
Urudi.
Yeah, nikule shida nirudi.
Well, now 6 months down the line. Utarudi?
No, I'm still here.
Wow, that was the end of it.
That was the end of it. There was a pull and push of the kids. Then I was diagnosed with a mental condition. We learned how he accepted that we can't
work things out.
He can't talk to, because many other times he did text me. He misses me. He wants me back, but I still fear him.
Up today.
Yeah, I will act outrageous, but
something must kill a woman.
I can't. I can't stand him.
Let me get this. You were married through a church wedding.
Yeah. The
divorce?
Basically, Kenya, we don't divorce immediately. You're given time for separation. Can be years. Because mnaweza sema mna divorce leo, kesho mrudiane. And the courts know that. So you're given time to separate. So as we separated.
And then, that was it?
Yeah.
So if you wanted to get married today?
If I want to get married, I'll get married.
If he wants to marry?
He will get married.
Or has he married already? Are you married?
I'm not married. Yeah, I'm not married.
Okay, before we get to that, now how did it get to that you've been diagnosed with a mental condition?
Now we've parted ways, and you're this single mom, and you're enjoying being a single mom. But at some point, unasikia afadhali kupigwa. You miss that person. You miss the person to talk to, because there are times we would talk, and I think I started. That was a trigger, maybe to a condition that was already there. And now I started being extravagant, living large, drinking, no, bangi, yeah. And yeah, 2017 I was diagnosed with a mental condition after I almost killed my sons and killed myself, and we were rescued.
We've done another episode with her on mental health, so we'll put the link on this so you can follow up on the mental health part. So after you've gone through the mental process, then
you have to take your sons through, my sons through that, you know, because after my diagnosis I went public, and it caught the attention of, I think, the world, and my story has been shared everywhere. And so I had to protect my kids, just in case. So we sit down with my sons and we have that talk.
How did they respond?
My sons were awesome. Very awesome. Yeah.
Now, let's get to right now. Would you ever get married again?
Right now, I won't say no. And I won't say yes. Because there's still that fear of
What if?
no men. I don't have a what if. I just fear men. You know, apart from my dad maybe. But I have that stereotype of
He will hate me. He will.
basically he will hate me, and I might not be that naive person. I might react in a very bad way.
Now, what is your advice to that girl out there who feels like I'm tired. This is my life now. I'm blocked. For you got married a bit older. Mimi nilichukulia ID kwa bwana, and I've already told you that. So, what is your advice to that girl?
You know, you've been taught to love yourself before you love others, and basically that's what I believe. But you know, when you're in an abusive relationship, be it a man or a woman, your self-esteem just goes low. And to you, that person who abuses you becomes like your God. And so your mind is showing you that without a person, you're nothing. They have kind of tuned you that without me, you're nothing. And so you stay. But you have to look at the bigger picture. You're not born with that person. You are living a life without that person. Actually, you are better off without that person. Just maybe amekuongeza watoto. But try to love yourself. You can walk out. If you can't, talk to someone.
Do you think men also go through challenges in marriage? I mean, they are just monopoly to women.
They do. Everybody goes through challenges in marriage. Men also do go through challenges in marriage, and just that they don't talk. Or if they do talk, they talk to the wrong people. Mpanga wa kando, or a barmaid, or a bar. Yeah. As women, we run to the church.
To other women.
To other women. Yeah.
Now, finally, as we wind up, if you would take back your life from that first slap, would you do the same? Would you do life the same way, or would you be bolder enough to?
I don't think I would change anything. I don't think I would change anything.
You're satisfied. You're happy.
Yeah, because I tell people, I think you pass through fire to make you something. Because if I would change anything, then I would not be here.
True.
So I think God was Jenga. Yeah, I'll not change anything. I'll just be. Because who knows, if I did fight back, maybe I'll be dead. So
and you couldn't be having this conversation.
Yeah, so I don't think I'll change anything.
Well, finally, other than kuchapwa, is there other forms of abuses in marriage? Well, we've realized you can have rape in marriage, and there's that fight. Is there anything else?
Apart from the rape and the physical, there's that emotional, where you're told you're nothing. You as comparing you with other women. Yeah. There's also the kind of abuse whereby munaitanga silent treatment, but to me I see it as kind of an abuse, where you just silence this person. And marriage is communication. So without communication, that person anashindwa units anafikiria nini. So we have emotional and psychological. Emotions are just hata ukilia, nobody cares. Psychological ni you just units are not enough. You cannot amount to anything. I made you who you are. Yeah.
You work out some words, so we'll give that story one day, one time. They don't need a better kind of things anyway. That's a story for another day. Anyway, your parting shot and goodbye, and I hope we'll invite you again and we'll come.
All right, my parting shot. Marriage is hard. Marriage is a commitment, and I believe marriage biblically is not meant for everyone. Marriage is meant for people with the grace. nitakana Eunice venye tu wako, the grace with her weaknesses and her strength, but you dwell with your partner's strength. That is what I believe marriage is. If you feel your life is in danger, just walk away. Doesn't matter whether the kids are there, whether you have a job or anything. Just walk away, because you mean something to someone. You mean something to your parents, be it the man or the woman. You mean something to someone. Just walk away. In marriage, there are those days that I feel, you know, things are hard. Take a vacation off marriage. I'm not saying you cheat on your husband or cheat on your wife, but tell them you need time out. Time out, maybe if he loves you or you love him, buy a ticket to Masai Mara or something. Just take a break. See what your life is without a person. Just feel the void of them not being there. It will remind you why ulimpenda in the first place. And I want to speak to the men out there. If you ignore your wife, yani tufunge macho TV ignore. The snakes are out there. There are so many. Gone are the days when women were like I was. Tutatafuta tu a snake out there, and it may not turn out well. Either we commit suicide, it backfires on you, we kill your kids. We saw a woman that killed
3 kids.
Okay, and the husband is there crying. And don't ignore your partner, be it the wife or the husband. But the moment that man hits you, hata usigoja kupiga ya pili, akimi niligoja. Don't wait akupiga ya pili. Have a conversation about it, and maybe find a solution. If there's no solution, walk away. If she hits you, you can also do the same as a man. Don't hit a woman. Tumelelewa vizuri. Usipige. Wanaume wa Nyeri, usipige mudemu. Yeah, don't. Yeah.
Anyway, thank you so much for making time for us. Well, we really appreciate you, and thank you for being bold enough to also share your story with us, for being vulnerable, because I know it's being vulnerable.
Yeah.
Thank you. And for showing girls there's a light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah.
Anyway, that was our time. I'm Eunice Muthui, and as we say, everyone has a story. What's yours? If you want to share your story, you can always reach out to that number that is on your screen, and we'll be here. You can also send an inbox, call, we'll listen, and just share your story. Bye-bye. Till next time. See you.